Hello again, and thank you for staying with us. The Democratic Republic of the Congo's incumbent leader, Félix Tshisekedi, has garnered about 80% of the votes in the country's presidential poll. Opposition candidates have been protesting about what they call chaos and irregularities that marred polls from last week. Institute for Justice and Reconciliation's Dr. Webster Zambara joins us now for more analysis. Dr. Zambara, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Now, firstly, given the history of elections turning violent in the DRC, how do you assess the likelihood of violence? That's if President Tshisekedi maintains his lead in the provisional results.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewership. Thanks for having me. The situation in the DRC has entered the vote counting stage, and the preliminary results that are starting to flock in of about 3 million votes show that the incumbent Félix Tshisekedi, is leading with about 80% of the votes. And the first batch of the results came actually from the diaspora vote from 5 countries: USA, Canada, Belgium, France, and South Africa. One would actually question, does that mean in many other countries in the region we do not have Congolese who are eligible to vote? That's another question for another day. Then we also have a situation in which the Congolese love to do their elections during the festive season. Unfortunately, we are also witnessing a festivity of electoral irregularities, such that many opposition political leaders have begun to call for the nullification of the election. This is because while the elections were supposed to be held on the 20th, they had to extend to the 21st. But get this, until Sunday, some places were still voting, while some results are already coming out. That tells you how difficult it is. And I would guess we should not be surprised by the logistical challenges that would be faced in the Congo, in the DRC, if you are having an election, because of the size of the country, because also of the situation, particularly in the eastern parts of the DRC, the North Kivu and South Kivu provinces, the Ituri districts, in which, because of rebel activities, some voting did actually not take place. Now comes the question, as the results are beginning to come in, officially the Constitution allows them to share with us the results on the 31st. But when the incumbent starts leading at this stage, it kinds of prepares the nation that the incumbent is likely going to win, which is what is being challenged by opposition leaders, particularly Martin Fayulu, who was the main challenger last time, and many people believe he won actually in 2018, as well as businessman Moise Katumbi, who are rather calling for the total nullification of the voting process because they believe that a rigged process, or at least an election that has so many irregularities, should not produce a result that would legitimize the leader or the elected candidate. So in actual fact, this election becomes an election to seek legitimacy. Let's look at it. 2018, Tshisekedi won through some vote exchange with the outgoing president, Joseph Kabila. Yeah. But protests led to 34 people dying after the elections. Now, this time around, one would not be surprised that because of the situation on the ground, another round of protests may emerge, as well as potential violence in the Congo.
Dr. Zambara, like you say, not many are convinced on the legitimacy of this election. Do you believe this is primarily due to, like you've cited, logistical challenges, or is it indicative of a broader issue of political apathy among the electorate? And how might this impact the legitimacy of the election results there?
I would not call it apathy, because many people actually wanted to vote, but the momentous occasion where they were holding harmonized elections of the president's national election, regional election, and local government election. And mind you, about 44 million people are eligible to vote in a country that is more than 100 million people. That on its own can tell you that logistically it's a mammoth task. And the number of candidates to be voted for, we are looking at over 100,000 candidates. So already that was difficult. Secondly, most of the Eastern DRC is experiencing some war of sorts because of the more than 120 military groups that are operating there, such that some places did not vote. And about 5.7 million people are displaced, so they couldn't vote. Now come to the election process itself. The process was so marred by irregularities and delays, which already can show that the legitimacy of anyone who will come out of this, and in most cases, unfortunately, when there is chaos in election, the chaos tends to help the incumbents. So the power of the incumbents may actually prevail. So Tshisekedi is likely going to be challenged again on the legitimacy of his second term in the event he is declared the winner of this current plebiscite.
Dr. Zambara, Human Rights Watch has accused President Tshisekedi's government of repressing and intimidating the opposition. How do these allegations then align with the image of Tshisekedi as a leader, and what potential implications could this have for the democratic process in the DRC?
I think Human Rights Report is citing an example. For example, Moise Katumbi, who is sitting second at the moment, his final rally was marred by police interventions, firing of tear gas, so it was disturbed.
Of course, opposition candidates have also raised concerns about the elections, citing chaos as well as irregularities. This in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, as preliminary results start trickling in as well. But as you heard from Dr. Zambara, not all are convinced over the legitimacy of this election.